Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fourth day here at the Climate Talks in Lima, Peru. And today we had a special Fossil of the Day award, giving a prize to the worst countries here. The second place fossil went to the European Union for taking a stance that demanding 10-year commitment periods. Basically, nothing that's agreed next year in Paris will go into effect till 2020. So they're trying to mean that anything agreed in Paris can't be revisited until 2030, potentially locking us in to an amount of emissions that will make a 2-degree world impossible. Whereas many of the most vulnerable nations, the Pacific Islands and the Africa Group, among others, have been calling for a 5-year commitment period, meaning that in 2025 we can revisit the commitments, and maybe something will have changed in 5 years regarding political will, public opinion around climate change and the impacts it causes, or the price of renewables. And then today's first prize fossil award went to Australia. Notable because they are in the midst of announcing the largest coal transport project in the world in the Galilee Basin, sponsored by Adani, an Indian coal company, and the Commonwealth Bank. And they were given the award today because they really wanted to make sure that part of the text around loss and damage was kept separate from the rest of the text. And this is the idea that this was added in Warsaw, basically saying that there's some things that you can't adapt to. Adaptation and mitigation were already part of the text. But this is saying there's some things you can't adapt to, like your farmland turning into desert or your island going underwater. And this is especially relevant as another typhoon bears down on the Philippines, which is still recovering from the effects of Haiyan last year. So they wanted to make sure, keep this text separate so that it's easier for them to take it out. Whereas these most vulnerable countries are demanding that it's anchored in the Paris Protocol, with the idea that we can figure out some of the details later. So that's what's been depressingly happening here, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.